Vietnamese football on very much of a high at the moment, and one of the top teams are Becamex Binh Duong. They were involved in the Super Cup. They've started their league campaign. There is something very good going on in Vietnamese football, not only at the national and under 23 level, but at the club stage as well. There were big crowds throughout match day 1 of the V1 League at the weekend.
Yeah, and that's it's certainly good times in Vietnam football. We've seen Hanoi this season. They look a good side and will be competitive in this competition. For Binh Duong, it's their first time back in it for almost a decade, and they must fancy their chances in the group. And the feeling is that this is the time for Vietnamese football to come to the fore. So for so long in Southeast Asian football, Thailand's been the dominant force, but I think maybe the power is changing a little bit, and it could be time for the Vietnamese to take over.
As for Indonesian football, well, their league once again has been truncated. It's been delayed. March or April is a potential starting date. We keep saying this every year. If they ever get it right, you just look at the support, you look at the facilities at this Gelora Bung Karno complex. If they ever get it right, and Persija more than ever any are likely to, not sure potential is.
Well, certainly that's the case, and you're absolutely right. If any club's going to get it right, then it's likely to be this one. And it's so passionate about the football in Indonesia. It is the game down there. Everybody's involved. Everybody cares about it. You just need to use that, channel that enthusiasm, that energy in the right direction, and it will be wonderful to see. Because I think we do need to see the Indonesian national team, and we do need to see the Indonesian club sides at the top table. I've just spoken about Thailand and Vietnam. I think Indonesia should be right up there with them, and they would argue that they ought to be bossing the situation. They ought to take over, but time will tell. But we've been saying this for quite a long time.
Teams about to make their way out onto what looks to be a lush playing surface. They do look after it pretty well here. The match officials all from Thailand. Mongkol Chai is the man in charge. Persija Jakarta will be hoping to make home advantage tell in this Group G clash. There are 4 teams in each of the 9 groups. The top 2 are guaranteed a place in the final stages. And Ceres Negros and Shan United from Myanmar make this a particularly difficult group to get out of. So winning your home games absolutely essential.
Oh, absolutely, and you're right. It is a very competitive group, as they all are, to be honest. But this one, I think, is especially competitive. And in this sort of competition, it's always you've got to win at home and try and scrape something away from home. You've got to think 10 or 11 points would get you through. So if you can win your 3 home games, then you don't need to get a lot on the road to get yourself through to the knockout stage. And that's going to be the minimum aspiration for these 2 teams. I think they will both fancy their chances of going a long way in this competition.
As for Persija Jakarta, plenty of familiar names for those who've been following AFC competitions. The likes of Abdul Rahman at centre-back. Ishmael Sofyan's been around for seemingly ages. And Rohit Chand as well. He's a good addition to their ranks, the Nepalese midfielder, alongside Ricky Lester Luhu. And also a new one, Bruno Matos. Malaysian fans will remember him. He had a pretty good half-season for PKNS last year. Let's run you through the lineups. What a fabulous amphitheatre this is. The lineups for you, starting with Persija. International Andritani will be between the sticks. Brabo and Abdul Rahman will be the 2 centre-backs. Again, those with under-23 international experience. Danny Saputra down the left. Ismail Sofyan is there as well. Risky Lester Luhu we know all about. Bruno Matos. And up front, Ricky Simanjuntak and Heri Susanto will provide the width for Silvio Escobar. And Bruno Matos will be expected to fire the bullets to the pitch, which is a slight oddity, but both experienced goalkeepers, Tran Trong and Andritani, both very, very capable custodians. As for the visitors, Becamex Binh Duong, well, they have started their season. They lost the Super Cup 2-0 to Hanoi. They got off to a 1-1 draw against Bahan on Saturday. But there's the likes of Wanda Luis, the Brazilian, and Ali Rabo, who is from Burkina Faso. I've seen him play centre midfield and at centre back. Not too many well-known names, not too many internationals, but as usual with any side run in Vietnam, they will try to play neat football.
Yeah, think that's one of the features of Vietnam. They are playing a sort of modern, progressive game of football. They're not playing old-style tip-tap stuff. They play the ball from the back. They like to play possession football. This man, Minh Chen, his career finished unfortunately rather early by injury, and has got a good track record as a coach. And they're very modern, very progressive in their style of play. I don't expect them to be too expansive today, to be honest.